Hello, my dear friends, and welcome back to another cozy story time. This one is meant for listeners of all ages, children, teenagers, and grown-ups alike. So, wherever you are snuggled in bed, sitting by a window with a cup of tea, or just relaxing after a long day, this little tale is for you. Our story begins by the sea, on a quiet coast, where the waves curl gently against smooth, grey stones. The air is filled with the scent of salt and seaweed, and the gulls call softly overhead. In this peaceful place lived a fisherman named Callum, who loved the sea like a friend. His cottage stood just a few steps from the shoreline, with nets drying on wooden poles, and a garden filled with wildflowers swaying in the salty breeze. One cool morning, as the sun painted the water with shades of gold, Callum noticed something unusual. There, lying among the rocks, was a large, shimmering seal's skin. It looked almost magical silver-gray with speckles that caught the light, as though the stars had fallen onto it. Curious, Callum picked it up gently. It was soft and warm, not like an ordinary skin, and as he held it, he had the strange feeling that someone was watching him. When he turned, he saw a young woman standing barefoot on the sand, her hair dark and shining like wet seaweed. She wore no cloak, no shoes, only a dress made of seafoam and sunlight. Her eyes were deep and kind, yet filled with worry. And in that quiet, tender moment, Callum realized she must be one of the Selkies, the mysterious seal folk of the sea. Callum, being a kind man, held out the seal's skin. "I believe this belongs to you," he said softly. The young woman smiled with relief, her shoulders relaxing as if a weight had lifted. "Thank you," she whispered. "Without it, I cannot return to the sea." The fisherman felt a tug at his heart. Though she seemed otherworldly, she also looked a little lonely. "Would you stay for some tea before you go?" he asked gently. The Selkie agreed, and so she followed him to his little cottage. Inside, the fire glowed warmly, and the kettle hummed on the stove. He poured her tea into a clay cup, and together they sat at the small wooden table. She told him about the sea, the glimmering schools of fish, the way whales sang beneath the waves, and how the stars looked when seen from under the water's surface. In return, Callum spoke of the land, the way apple trees blossomed in spring, how the village children laughed as they ran down the meadow, and the quiet peace of a fire on a winter's night. Their voices blended like two soft songs, one of sea and one of shore. And though the time was short, their hearts grew warm with gentle friendship. At last, the Selkie stood, taking her seal's skin once more. "I must go," she said kindly, "but I will not forget your kindness." Callum watched her walk to the shore. She draped the shimmering skin around her shoulders, and in an instant, she was a seal again, slipping gracefully into the waves. The sea embraced her, like a long-lost friend. From that day on, whenever Callum went to the shore, he sometimes saw a seal watching him from the waves. Its dark eyes sparkled with recognition, and though no words were spoken, he knew it was his friend from the sea. The fisherman's heart carried a new kind of peace. He realized that true friendship does not depend on keeping someone close. It lives in kindness, in respect, and in letting others be free to follow their own path. Seasons passed, and Callum's life continued fishing, tending his garden, and walking the shore each morning. Yet he was never truly alone, for he had learned that every wave, every gust of wind, and every call of a seabird carried a memory of his Selkie friend. The sea itself seemed to speak to him now, reminding him that life is richer when we open our hearts with generosity. And so, dear friends, the lesson of the seal's skin is this: when you treat others with kindness and respect, you gain something far greater than possession. You gain connection. Thank you for joining me in this cozy tale. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, subscribe, and come back for more gentle stories that warm the heart and soothe the spirit. Until next time, may your days be filled with peace, and may your nights be touched with the soft music of the sea.